Hi guys, welcome back to Main Street Mower. I'm Stu, and this is our final video of string trimmers and kind of all of your accessories and different head options that could go on there. And this is removing the plastic line bump head from your string trimmer and installing a metal blade. And there are 5 different options available from Stihl, built for cutting different material. So we're going to go over how to put that blade on your string trimmer, but then we're also going to go out into our test site and we're going to use each blade in their dedicated foliage and see how they perform, see if they do like advertised. So if you look at the box here from Stihl, it says grass cut, brush cut, wood cut, and wood cut. So let's take these out and take a look at them. Some safety information in here. This is a blade that has an edge on both sides, so you're operating it like this. It's spinning this way, it's using this edge, and then when this edge is dull, you would be able to flip it, and then you'd be using this edge. Another shape variety that's built for cutting grass. It is my belief, and we will find out in the field, that this blade here allows you to keep engine speed because it's just taking a little bite. So it doesn't lose speed and allows you to move in faster sweeping motions and not have to slow down so much. But you see it has a direction, there's an arrow. It's going to be mounted on your head. You're going to be operating it like this. It's going to be spinning in that direction. This one is multi-directional, has an edge on both sides. This one is called a brush cut. This one is very popular in our store. People repeatedly buy this. It is the most expensive. They all have different prices, and this is the most expensive one. People continue to buy it. This one is called a wood cut, and this has a tooth on it that looks similar to a chainsaw cutter. So it looks like it's peeling wood away. We might struggle to really find an application out there for this, but we'll do our best to find a little tree we can cut down. It also has an arrow and a direction. It's mounted with steel facing up. This one, if you can see from the picture, has kind of like woody bushes. So hardwoods, but this is a scratcher blade as they call it. And it just has some mean teeth on it that definitely grab your finger. And it also has a direction to it. So we are going to go to the field with these one by one. The first thing we're going to do is take this bump head off, and you're going to locate this tool or a screwdriver, slip it in this hole, and that will lock your head into place. And then this head is left-hand thread, as we've said many times, so righty-tighty will make it come off. And if you can see here, this is your stud that your head mounts on. And there's a little raised collar right here. So this blade is actually multi-directional. It will work this way or this way. But this blade, the scratcher blade, both of the wood cutting blades have a direction to them. And then also this grass cutting blade has a direction. These two are multi-directional, and you can flip them and continue to use them. So this is a multi-directional blade. It'll work this way or this way, but as a rule, on the non-two-sided blades, you want to be able to read steel when you're operating it. So your blade goes on there, and it's sitting up on that collar, and then you have your splined washer. It has a gearing to it. It's going to seat down on there. You're going to feel it. And then this donut, and this is really to protect your stud so that these threads don't get boogered up while you use it. And then this nut and its left-hand thread. And then use your steel scrunch to tighten all that up. If something happens at this point and this blade slips off of that collar and it's sitting on this gear head crooked, it's going to vibrate violently. And you're going to know that something's wrong, so you're going to take all this back apart and set it on there right. If everything's right, it's going to run really smooth. And that's all there is to that. Now you're ready to go out and do some brush cutting. So even though string trimming may not be as dangerous as a chainsaw, there is still some danger involved. And when you putting a metal blade like this on, the danger level goes up quite a bit. You got a spinning blade that's not underneath a mower deck out in front of you. So safety boots.
It's about security.
Wearing pants. I'm wearing shorts today and I'm going to be using this. So I'm sorry, Stihl.
I am sorry.
Stihl also has a lot of nice things to help protect you. They sell something called a chaperone, which is like an apron overall that goes all the way down your legs, keeps your legs protected. This earmuff and visor combo, this is a metal screen to protect you from projectiles, and it flips up and down. I am going to wear that. And then there are a variety of guard options that you could see here. This is a larger brush guard. It's going to just give you more deflection than the standard string guard that's on here. And then in the woodcut options, there's a feature called a limit stop. And this limits part of the circumference of that circle saw from being used in the cut, the more dangerous parts of the saw. So this is definitely a good idea to switch out your guard for a limit stop if you're running the wood cutting blades. All right, so we're going to go out to the field and we're going to put each of these 5 blades on an FS131R. It's a good high horsepower unit and we're going to see how they all perform. Let's go to the field. All right guys, we're in our test site. It's a beautiful field. It's got all kinds of brush. Let's just start at the beginning. We're going to start with this grass blade.
Round 1.
It is cutting the grass cleanly, but I don't notice that I'm any faster. I mean, it is not something I'm having to service. I'm not having to bump line or refill line. So, I mean, it could go for a long time before I lose an edge, but I might be slower than string to get a good cut, but the cut is a little flatter and cleaner as well. I want to take it into this slightly thicker grass right up here. So this is good mid-shin height grass. Here we go. It does a good job of getting up under the undergrowth. I would say probably my hang up is this tangling up in the brush itself. In this thicker stuff, it definitely outperforms the string because I'm able to dig it in and wind up the speed, whereas the string would just be struggling to whip out to where it gets enough speed. So yeah, it cut better than I thought. All right, blade number 2.
Round 2.
This is Stihl's other grass blade. It's not multi-directional, so you don't have the option to flip it over and use it for double the life. First, we'll start out and we'll test it in some of the same stuff we've been testing in. And then I'd like to dive into maybe the next level of thickness and see how it does in that. To me, it's much smoother. It cuts with less drag. The motor keeps its speed, the blade keeps its speed, and I'm able to swing faster and race somebody. All right, back into the thick. I would still say advantage grass blade 2 over grass blade 1. Seem to cut faster and smoother. I'm gonna take it just into the next level thickness of grass here. You know, I kind of want to see, like, even though they call this a grass blade, how would it do in brush? I'm gonna make my way in and I'm gonna cut this little bush here down with this grass blade just to see what happens. So this blade cut that. I smell like burnt wood, and the blade lost its paint on that little adventure. We'll see if blade number 3 can handle something like that a little better, but this did pretty good. You could definitely tell that that was the end of the line for this blade as far as diameter of brush. You really wouldn't want to go any further with this blade.
Round 3.
All right, this is our most popular selling blade. These are like $36. It is two-sided, so you can flip it and use it. They call it a brush blade. It would kind of mean that it's like in the middle of the lineup. It can do grass, it can do brush, but up to what extent before this is hitting a tree and bouncing you away? We're gonna find out. We'll see how well it does grass, see if it's worth the extra money. That first blade is like $13, so this one's 3 times as much. We'll see how it does. Woo, yeah. This one is very satisfying to cut with. It has a nice slicing action, not a lot of drag. It slides right through. The blade keeps its speed. Let's take it into some thicker grass to see how it does. I definitely see what all the hype is about. This blade really kicks butt. Let's see how we'll do on maybe like finger size bits of brush. We'll find some. All right, check out this stump. You can see that the blade burned its way through there. You see how it's black? You can definitely smell it if you're here with us. And it struggled with that quarter size stick there. Let's look for a little bit more green type viney succulents here. We have a little site here. This I would more so call on the edge of grass, but we'll call this brush. And then this over here is definitely brush, but I could see some pretty large diameter trunks up in there, and I'm questioning whether or not this blade will be able to handle the trunks. We'll go into both. Honestly kicks butt in that environment. Let's see how it does with these. Little weeds like this are not possible with a string trimmer. It's like the string wraps around them and breaks before it breaks the trunk. So if you had a whole field pasture of weeds like this, you would have to go blade. So let's hope this is the blade. Let's see. Bushes this size in this environment right here are kind of sparse, so I'm able to like focus on one bush at a time, and this blade's doing a great job with that. I think when you get into something a little denser like this, it might just be inevitable that you're not able to make a big sweeping motion with any type of tool when you have hardy trunks like that. I'm satisfied. It's a good blade. I see why people buy this blade. Works a good job on, does a good job on hardy stuff, does a good job on grass. It's really an all-purpose blade. Let's try to cut some wood now. The woodcut, blade number 4.
Round 4.
So this is a wood cutting blade, and this actually has a cutter like a chainsaw. We hope to see that this one will actually make chips of wood and cut its way through like a chainsaw. Could be some value to this versus a chainsaw if you want to cut things off low to the ground. Guys buy these to clear like shooting lanes. Could do a lot of small trees while standing up straight. And it may just be the better tool for that kind of thing than a chainsaw. We will find out. First, we're gonna pretend like you bought this and you decided you're gonna cut some grass with it. Let's see how it will do cutting grass. Honestly, it cuts. Not super good though. It does okay, but it would probably be worth your time to stop and change blades, or buying 2 blades so that you had a blade for application of grass and a blade for wood. Woo! Definitely does way better on wood than any of the others. I'm gonna cut that stump away. Yeah, baby, like a little chainsaw. Did you notice that when the blade got to this point right here, this donut was making contact here, so it wasn't letting the blade travel any further in. So that is the limiting factor in what size trunk you can cut, is when it hits. See, I can't push it this way any further, so it's hard to complete that cut unless I came over on this side to finish. But that's why they say a 3-inch diameter trunk is what this is made for. It's just because it bottoms out and it won't let you get in any farther. We'll try on something a little bigger though. Here we go. Honestly, love this blade. This blade kicks butt. Really works great. I'm very impressed. Had no idea it was going to cut hardwood like that.
Round 5.
All right, this is our 5th and final blade, the Stihl scratcher blade, made for cutting wood. We're going to try it in grass, brush, and we're going to put it on some wood and see how it compares to blade number 4. First test, grass. Just like the chisel cut tooth, the scratcher tooth will cut grass, but it's quite slow. You have to go really slow to make sure it's cutting everything. It's not as good as any of the blades 1 through 3 in grass. Let's find a tree. Look how clean that cut is. I'm noticing that if you cut on the right side, it has a tendency to want to slingshot itself this way with both wood cuts. So it is a safer cut coming towards you on the left side, a little less slingshot chance. You notice this is pretty dry, but there are some burn marks there. Some burn marks there. This one did not cut as fast as that chisel tooth. Maybe better for all this little stuff. So definitely the danger zone of this blade is this section right here. This is where it can grab the tree and want it to slingshot away. I think the last woodcut blade would have cut through that faster than this one did with less burning. So, you know, on this cut I'm trying to come in on the left side, but I get to the point where I can only get this deep and that and cut all the way through it. So now I'm trying to come in and finish my cut off but I'm on the danger side. I think that concludes our testing. We have two favorites, clear favorites. We'll go back to the drawing board though. Hi everybody, we're back. And we have all the blades from the actual test here in front of me. If you can remember, these are the grass blades specifically. This one's the brush blade, and these two are wood cutting blades. What did we find? We found out that both of these cut grass quite well. And actually this one cuts grass quite well. And actually these cut grass, but not so well. Slowly cut grass. You would definitely want one of these three if you were cutting mostly pasture. These do not cut brush, not very well. I mean, they can struggle through some of the smaller, wetter, succulent type stuff. But this blade performed very well. Something I could see why it's very popular because it does grass, excellent. But it will also do thumb size hunks of brush, even swinging through. But when it's hitting, it's got an edge and it's doing some slicing, but it's really just motoring and burning and slapping its way through the material. So let's call it a thumb size maximum piece of brush. This blade really kicked some butt. I mean, it dove through wood. Like I couldn't even feel the resistance of the wood. It was like a hot knife through butter, honestly. And the scratcher blade is appropriately named. You could feel the scratch, you could feel the drag, you could feel the burn. I've always recommended this blade for cutting wood, but now that I've run it firsthand, I would be more apt to recommend this blade. So my two favorites, this for your all-around, and this for hardy hardwoods. If I could have a final word, I would say buy the bigger motor and buy one of these two blades, and you're going to be real happy with your brush cutter. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Post any comments down below, any videos you want to see. We have the resources to make them, and we want to make them for you. Thank you for watching.